Morning brings thin sun and long shadows. The team has not slept. Coffee sits cold. Lena opens a new file. She names it Door Hypothesis. It feels silly and serious at once. Eva arrives by noon. She carries a canvas tube and an old notebook. Dust puffs when she sets them down. 17th century? Malik asks, pointing at the tube. Older ideas inside young paper, Eva says. She smiles, then does not. But first, a story. She opens the notebook. The cover reads, Cerro de Plata Observatory, 1979. A mountain lab long closed after a fire. Most records lost, but a caretaker kept this copy. Eva flips to a page. A sketch of a curve appears. Up, across, down the same door shape, but hand-drawn. The note below it is simple. The sky knocked. The next line is less simple. We knocked back. The mountain answered with light. Then a scrawl. Shut it down. They will come. Who wrote that? Lena asks. A junior astronomer. Named Serrano, Eva says. He disappeared 2 days after the fire. No body, no farewell, just gone. The room is very still. Outside, the desert shimmers. Eva pulls the chart from the tube. It shows strange stars, not placed as in modern maps, but as story points. A river of dark ink curves across the page. On the river, a small door symbol repeats. Next to one door, there are tiny lines like a ladder. Eva points. See the ladder? The notes from the time. Ladder means steps of light. Steps of light, Malik repeats. Like pulses. Pulses, Eva says. Lena feels heat in her face. We are not first. Never assume you're first, Eva says gently. Assume you're next. Pull more data from the night. The pulses show a tiny offset in frequency. The offset changes on a schedule. Lena finds the schedule matches a simple number pattern. Prime numbers, not many. room's air feels heavy, the tone that started all of this drops into a rumble. The rumble thins to a line that the eye cannot see. Only the instruments can. Tag signal dipping, Malik says. 8%. 6-3 goes to 0. The room is a held breath. The hum stops. The echo remains. The gap in the ring brightens. It looks like a slit in a curtain. Then the tag chirps once. One small sound. One heartbeat later, it chirps again. Closer, stronger. Malik leans in. It's back. Show me, Lena says. A blip appears near the receiver. Like a speck, nothing else. Malik runs the retrieval routine. A net of faint fields whispers out, gathers what it can. A silver dot glides to a stop inside a small dish. It looks like a tear. Stare coin. Malik whispers. He turns on a microscopic camera. On the screen, they see the mirror side. It is not clean now. It is dusted with something like frost or ash or salt. Small crystals cling to the edge. The scratched, smiley face is there. Duh. But it looks older. Lena picks up tweezers. Her hands shake. She flips the coin. The etched lines shine. But the pattern is not the same. The lines have grown. They branch like roots. New lines form a circle around the door shape. Circle has a gap. Eva puts her hand over her mouth. Brought back an answer, she says. The chip blinks. It has data. Time, temperature, light. Readings? Malik plugs it in. Numbers flood the screen. The clock inside the coin says it was away for 2 hours. Their clock says 6 minutes. Time moved faster there, Lena says. Or slower here. The temperature log shows a cold dip below anything expected. Then a warm spike like a pass through sunlight. Then cold again. Light readings show a spectrum that is wrong for Earth. The peaks sit in odd places. The colors are not our colors? Malik scrolls. The chip stored a tiny image from a pinhole sensor. It is not pretty. It is like looking through a keyhole covered in fog, but shapes are there. He cleans the noise. The picture clears a little. A horizon appears. It is not flat. It is curved. Above it, a red sky smolders. In the sky, a bright arch hangs like a rainbow made of fire. But it is not a rainbow. It is thin and sharp. It is a ring. The ring has a gap. Lena feels small. We threw a coin into a black well, she says, and a coin fell out of a red sky. The last line in the log is strange. Tiny audio sample captured when the chip warmed. A sound like a whisper rides the noise. They boost it. Becomes 3 syllables, not a language they know. Ava's eyes narrow. She plays it again. Again, it is not Spanish, she says. Not Quechua, but it feels old. She opens her notebook and writes the syllables down by sound. She frowns. It could be a warning or a greeting. In old tales, both sound the same at first. The room is very quiet now. The dishes outside turn. The desert is a sea of light and shadow. Lena looks at the coin. She speaks slowly. We are past the headline. We are past the rumor. Now we have a thing. In my hand, and it came from somewhere else. She sets the coin down very gently. What do we do next? She asks. The screen still shows the red sky and the thin ring. It looks like an eye. It looks like a door. Looks like a decision. They send 2 more coins over 2 nights. Both come back. Both return with strange frost and wrong-colored light logs. The second coin records a blue-black sea under a copper sky. The third coin records darkness, then a brief, bright flash like lightning behind glass, then darkness again. Eva draws each horizon in her notebook. She notes the ring is always there. It's always thin, always with a gap. But the angle changes. Sometimes the ring hangs high. Sometimes it sits low. Sometimes it seems to tilt like a door on a crooked hinge. Lena maps the angles. She thinks the ring is not one thing. She thinks it is many things seen through one narrow cut. It's like a hallway with many doors, and they are peeking through a mail slot. Malik builds a slightly bigger probe. Not much bigger. It's just large enough to carry a better pinhole, keeps the scratched smiley on the edge. The universe knows our brand now, he jokes. No one laughs. They argue for hours about power. Do they send a pulse? Do they just reflect? They decide to reflect. No one wants to shout into a cave if a whisper works night again. Sky's hard and bright. The pulse rises. The gap in the ring echo brightens. The probe rides the light. Minutes stretch. The tag falls silent. They wait. 6 minutes pass. 10. 12. Lena's mouth is dry. Her heart is tired of racing. Then the tag chirps. Once again, close. The net gathers. The probe slides into the dish. It looks the same. It looks different. The mirror has a hairline scratch that was not there before. The edge has new scuffs. Something touched it, or it touched something. They pull the data, the time away. 3 hours, 14 minutes. Here, 13 minutes. The light log shows long spans of dim red. Then, a burst of white that saturates. The sensor, they scrub it. They find shapes under the glare. Malik boosts the image. The lab is full of breath sounds. The screen shows a place, not a full place, a slice. A ground of dark rock covered in thin frost. A sky that bleeds red. Off to one side, a structure rises. It is not natural. It is a rib of metal or stone. Curves. It follows the ring's arc. It's on its surface. Small marks glint. Eva leans in. Marks, she says. Writing. Lena zooms. The marks are not letters. They are little door shapes, stacked like ladders. Steps of light. Between the dots. Form prime number groups. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. It feels like a hand extended. The audio log hums. The whisper returns. This time it is longer. Lena plays it slow. Eva writes the sounds. She compares them to old lists. It's not a match, but the shape of the phrase repeats. Ends. In a fall that means stop in many tongues. Ere it means wait. Stop or wait, Eva says. Maybe both. Lena turns to Malik. We need more eyes. We need a spectrum camera. We need help. Malik nods. We call it in. Send a quiet memo to a small circle. Trusted people. Good minds. No leaks. But secrets leak. They always do. A call arrives from a government office 3 days later. The voice is smooth. It asks about a laser experiment near a sensitive band. It asks about unusual returns. It asks for a meeting. Lena hangs up, feeling cold. We have a window. She says, it will close. What do we do in the window? Eva asks. Read, Lena says. She points at the curved rib in the image. If someone built that, someone walked there. If someone walked there, they left a pattern. We will learn the pattern. We will not step through. Not yet. We will understand the lock. They spend a day with the marks. They find repeats. Find a sequence that looks like a map key. There is a symbol that matches the gap's angle when the red sky was recorded. Another symbol matches the blue-black sea. A third matches the place of dark and flash. It is a network, Lena says. A set of rooms. The ring is a hub. The gap is a door that swings to different halls. Who built the hub? Malik asks. Maybe no one, Eva says. Maybe the universe makes these at the mouths of wells. Maybe they are natural. Maybe the first mines to pass through just added ribs and marks to help the next mines. Door symbol at the end of the mark line has a The light coin only. We will not push a door that opens into our own room. They send the coin. It leaves. It returns fast. The chip shows 2 minutes away. Here, 20 seconds. The image shows nothing but gray fog. Then, a shape like a handprint pressed on frosted glass. 5 long marks. Not human long. Not human short. Just not human. Eva looks at the handprint. A long time. Old sailors used to draw sea gods with hands that were almost ours, she says. It was their way of saying, we do not know. Lena closes the file. We still do not know, she says. But now the door knows us. The officials come back with more papers. A short letter, a long list. They want the equipment. They want the coins. They want the room. We will take over for national safety, the neat-hair one says. Lena is polite. She is also a wall. You will get copies, she says. You will get help. But you will not get the key. She taps the scratched smiley with her fingernail. This is not a weapon. It is a question mark. They give the team 72 hours to wind down. In the hours that follow, the sky stays clear. The ring forms each night. The gap points. In new directions, the knot near Earth does not come back. Lena is both relieved and sad. They build one last probe. It is not bigger. It is smarter. It has a tiny reel of fiber, thinner than a hair, that unspools as it goes. The fiber is not real fiber. It is a clever ghost, a way to measure minute tugs, even if nothing returns. If the door pulls, they will feel it. Eva braids the tail with her fingers. In the old carving, she says, they held a rope. We hold a ghost rope, Malik says. They set the probe on the sender. Hey. They open the window. The night breathes cold. The hum begins. The ring opens. The gap turns twice. Faces the M. Far Blackwell again. Maybe safer, Lena says. Far is safer. She times the flickers. The probe rides the light, and the reel begins to unspool. The ghost rope measures nothing for a while. Then it measures the smallest kiss. A pull not like gravity, not like wind. Like someone brushing past in a crowd. Contact, Malik says. The pull grows. A gram, 2, 3, then it stops, then it reverses. The rope pushes, as if the door exhaled. The probe's tag dies. The room is a held breath again. The tag chirps. The net gathers. The probe returns. The reel is shorter by a finger's width. Something took a piece of the ghost rope, or the rope, thinned itself where the air was not air. They open the probe, sighed. Tucked under the mirror lip, a new thing rests. It is a flake, thin as onion skin, hard as glass. It is clear. It is printed with lines so fine they look like silk. The lines trace door symbols, steps of light, prime clusters, and then new shapes. Shapes like music written for eyes. What is that? Malik whispers. Eva speaks slowly. Manuel. She says, or a warning, or both. Lena holds the flake with tweezers. Under angled light, the lines move. Not literally, but the eye feels motion. They map the shapes by computer. The pattern turns into instructions. The instructions describe a rhythm. Light steps, dark rests. A way to open a door without breaking it. A way to not get stuck. Someone sent this, Lena says. Someone heard us pull the rope. Then someone is there, Malik says. Or was there, Eva says. We do not know how time flows on the other side. We do not know how long this flake waited in the red frost for a hand like ours to come along. Lena nods. So we do. Not step through. Not now. We learn the rhythm. We learn to knock. We learn to say we come in quiet. They run the rhythm with the lamp, not the laser. They whisper the steps. The echo trembles. The gap narrows, then widens. The room grows. Cold, then warm. The moth on the light sits very still. The monitors draw a shape. Not a ring. A corridor. It extends from the gap, like a thin bridge drawn in math, not wood. It is not really there. but it is there enough for light to follow. Hallway, Malik, says Eva, squeezes Lena's hand. You do not have to go. I know, Lena says. Her eyes shine, and I will not. Not today. They send a coin along the hallway. It goes, it returns fast. The chip shows a place of blue ash and black glass. In the far distance, a tower of ribs. On the near ground, a small, neat pile of flakes like the one in Lena's tweezers. Someone leaves the manual by the door, Eva says. Over and over. For whoever arrives, the clock tells them their 72 hours are almost done. Trucks grind up the desert road. Men in vests walk with clipboards. Lena holds the flake. She thinks of the old carving, the rope, the bell that rang, the goat that did not come back. She thinks of the scratched smiley. She thinks of the handprint on frosted glass. She speaks to the room. We did not break anything, she says. We asked politely, the sky answered. That means we can be the kind of people who keep asking politely. Or we can be something else. The trucks stop outside. Doors slam. Voices call. The ring echo brightens one last time that night. Light turns like an eye looking back. Then it fades. They hand over the room the next day. The officials bring new locks. New people stand at the consoles. The moth is gone, but ideas do not belong to locks. Lena, Malik, and Eva meet in a small cafe that smells like bread and coffee. They talk. In quiet voices, they carry copies of the data on clean drives. They carry the flake in a case that used to hold a coin. The news does not break. The officials are good at keeping quiet. For now. Lena writes at night. She writes the rhythm of the door as music and as math. She writes the story of the ladder of light. She writes the warning that sounds like stop and wait. She smiles at the scratched face in a photo on her desk. She does not sleep much. Malik builds things in his garage. Small senders. Small receivers. He plays with light like a child plays with blocks. He tries the rhythm with safer targets, not the big dark mouths in catalogs. He finds that small knots sometimes appear when storms far away shake the magnetic skin of Earth. He learns to see them. He learns to nod to them without shouting. Eva travels. She goes to the mountain village of the rope carving. She sits with a woman whose grandmother told her the bell story. She asks careful questions. Gives thanks. She leaves a little money. She takes a rubbing of another stone, less famous. This one shows hands facing each other across a ring. Not touching, waiting, she brings the rubbing home. They spread it on Lena's kitchen table. They eat bread. They drink tea. They look at the hands. I keep thinking, Eva says, about who started leaving those flakes, who thought we should help the next stranger. Maybe the first stranger was helped by someone even earlier, Malik says. Maybe kindness is the oldest technology. Lena runs her finger near the rubbing, not touching it. Or maybe they learned the hard way, she says. Maybe they got stuck once. Maybe they made these to say, do not do what we did. A message arrives on Lena's phone. It is from an unknown address. It contains one image. No text. The image shows the lab they left. The monitors glow. On the screens, a ring brightens. The gap turns toward the room. In the lower corner, the timestamp reads 10 minutes ago. Someone inside sent this, Malik says. Or the door did, Eva says. She half means it. Another message arrives. It is a short audio clip. The whisper is clearer now. Eva writes the sound she hears, the old fall that means stop and wait. But there is a new rise at the end. A rise that in many tongues means listen. They play it again. A dand. The cafe hums around them. Cups clink. A child laughs. Outside, the sky is bright and ordinary. Lena stands. She looks out the window. She can see the desert line on the far horizon. She thinks of the red sky and the ribbed curve. She thinks of the blue ash and the tower. She thinks of pollen that is not from flowers. What if the door is not just a path, she says. What if it is a listener? What if it turns toward whoever learns the rhythm wherever they are? They test the idea, not with lasers, not with big dishes, with a small, clean light on a rooftop. They whispered the steps into a patch of sky where no star is expected to answer. For a long time, nothing happens. The night goes by, the city sleeps. A dog barks, a car passes. Then, very faint, a ripple returns. It is not strong. It is thin as a spider thread, but it is there. It carries a tiny change in color that matches the flake's music for eyes pattern. It carries a pause in the middle like a heartbeat that skips. They look at each other. It hears us, Malik says. It heard someone before us, Eva says. It will hear someone after us, Lena says. They do not step through. They do not build a ship. They do not tie a goat to a rope. Keep listening. They keep knocking. Keep mapping the steps. They share the rhythm with quiet minds who will not shout. Weeks pass. Seasons change. The officials publish a careful paper about non-terrestrial photonic echoes. It is gray, it is dry, says little, it hides much. But the people who read between lines see the shapes. A rumor grows like a plant in the cracks. Late one night, Lena stands again in the desert. The dishes are not hers anymore. But the sky is everyone's. She turns off her headlamp. She lets her eyes fill with stars. A satellite drifts. A meteor scratches a brief line. Then, from the corner of her vision, she sees a ring. Not bright, not huge. A suggestion. It hangs, then fades. She feels no fear. She feels the kind of awe that makes the voice go quiet. She whispers the steps once. Clean light, soft hands. No answer comes that she can hear. She smiles anyway, because the door is not a threat to her tonight. It is a promise to someone, somewhere. A promise that lonely is not the only way to be in a wide, dark universe. The next morning, Eva texts a photo. It is the old stone from the village, taken in new sun. The hands across the ring look patient. Under them, a scraped line someone added long after the first carver was gone. The line is simple. 2 marks, a space, 3 marks. 2 and 3, the start. Of primes, the start of a ladder. What does it mean to you? Eva asks. Lena types slowly. It means they were like us, she writes. Hungry to know, scared to break, willing to wait. That night a message arrives with no return address. 3 words only, the language they do not know. But the last rise means listen. They do, and in the dark, far beyond the reach of a simple lamp, the door watches back as if the universe itself is curious too. At 2:17 a.m., the desert is silent. The dishes of a giant radio telescope listen to the night. Then a sound arrives. Not thunder, not wind, a slow, rising hum that repeats like a heartbeat. An astronomer freezes. The pattern is not random. Is a code. It points to the heart of a black hole, a place where light itself cannot escape. She remembers a strange note from an old file, a bridge, not a tomb. The team replays the signal. The hum climbs, pauses, and falls. It draws a shape in time, a doorway shape. True, it changes everything. How the sky stops being a wall. It becomes a map. The next pulse is due in 10 seconds. The room goes dark. The hum returns, and this time something answers. The Atacama night is sharp and dry. The stars look close enough to touch. Dr. Lena Parks sits in a small control room, lit by screens. She loves the quiet. Data comes in like rain. Numbers, curves, soft beeps. At 2:17 a.m., the beeps stop. A long tone replaces them. Swells, it holds, then it drops. She looks up. What was that? Leak. The radio tech shrugs. Glitch. The tone rises again. Same shape. Same timing. Lena leans forward. The system draws the sound into a line. Up, across, down, pause. Again. A heartbeat, a door shape. She checks the origin. The sky coordinate sits not far from a known black hole. Not the giant one in the center. Smaller, hungry one far. Away still, it is a dark mouth. Noise, Malik asks. Maybe Lena says. But her voice is thin. She pulls an old folder from the bottom of a shelf. It smells like dust. Inside is a scanned letter from 1935, Einstein and Rosen. It speaks of bridges, not roads on the ground, bridges in the fabric of space. She remembers. A note scrawled by a forgotten professor in the margin. A bridge, not a tomb. The tone swells a third time. Lena closes her eyes. She lets the sound paint the air. The pattern feels deliberate. It is not perfect. It breathes. It waits. As if it listens back, Malik loads a filter. Noise falls away. The hum stays. He overlays. The last 3 pulses, they line up. He frowns. This is a call sign, he says. He does not sound sure, or a lock. A moth flutters at the ceiling light. The room smells like coffee and metal. Outside, the dishes turn like pale moons. Lena opens a message window. She writes to Eva, a historian who helps the team when sky things overlap with old stories. We heard something, Lena types. It draws a door in time. Eva answers fast for the hour. A door in time? Send the plot. Lena sends it. Then she checks the timing again. The delay between pulses is not random. The gaps are the same. Then the gaps shorten by a tiny amount. Every cycle, the door narrows. Or the handle turns. A 4th tone rises. Malik's hands hover. He wants to talk. He does not. He watches numbers roll. Eva texts again. You're going to laugh, she writes. This shape appears on a 17th century star chart from Peru. Not joking. I saw it last week. Lena stares at the screen. The hum fades. Silence returns. She hears her own breath. She hears the desert. Far away, a fox cries. Malik breaks the quiet. We call it in? Not yet. Lena says. Why? Because if we say it too soon, it becomes a headline. Then it becomes a fight. I need one more piece. They rewind the data. They stack the pulses in 3 dimensions. The door shape is not flat. It twists in a slow spiral. A spiral like water draining, or like a path around a well. Lena speaks softly. What if a black hole is not a prison? What if it is a well with a hidden bucket? A way down that also goes across. Malik smiles without humor. You want it to be a portal. Want it to be a test, she says. We test ideas. Sky answers or not. She runs a cross-check. The signal is not from Earth. It is not a satellite. It is not a plane. It is not a known pulsar. The spectrum is off. The signature's new. She writes a simple program. If the next pulse comes, she will flash a narrow laser at the same coordinate from a small mount. It is safe. It is legal. It is only light saying hello, she tells Malik. He nods. The next minute is long. The clock on the wall ticks. The moth bangs the bulb. The dishes hum. 2:19 a.m. The tone returns. Lena hits enter. A faint laser whispers into the sky. No one can see it with the eye, but it goes. It goes fast. The tone drops. The room waits. Then the receiver picks up a tiny change. The 3rd harmonic wobbles. A flicker. Malik's mouth opens. Did it. The wobble settles. The tone ends. Lena leans back. It noticed, she says. Her heart is loud. Her hands are cold. Ava's text pings again. That old chart? The door symbol sits next to a note in Spanish and Quechua. Translation: the sky river opens when the earth sends a clean light. Clean light. A laser. A breath leaves Lena. She did not know she held. The room grows smaller. The idea grows larger. What if this is not a song of doom? What if it is a knock? What if black holes are gates that listen for a key? But keys open things. Doors lead somewhere. If this is a door, where does it go? And who put it there? Outside, the desert wind rises. The dishes tilt again like giants waking. The clock ticks. The team leans forward. The next pulse is coming, and they still do not know if they should answer.